Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Chandra and I make videos about reading, writing, and all things books. Dobby is extra clingy today because we got back from the vet and he has medicine to take, and because the vet did it, he loves me. I don't make the rules. Today's video is cleaning up my GoodReads and currently reading list on GoodReads because I have 34 books on the list of things I'm reading right now. What that means, I started reading a book and then I put it down and then I picked it up again and then I put it down, and it's taking me a really long time to read these books, and I needed to do something about that because they can't all be on my currently reading list. It just doesn't make sense. So here's what's on the list. The first thing I have is 3 books that are rereads. So I've already read them and I'm reading them again, but they're back on the list because I'm reading them again. I also have 2 books on the list that are from Authortubers, and I want to finish those, and I actually also plan to review them. Those 2 books are Hope's Chest by Cass Voigt or Sako Toomey, and Sort by Season by Ali Dethridge. And both their channels will be linked below in the description. The other thing, I have some books that have been on here a really long time. And what I mean by that is the book that's been on the list the longest is The Fellowship of the Ring, which I added November 17 of 2012. So it's been on here for a really long time. And granted, I have been reading it very slowly, but I did not read it anywhere nearly as quickly as I read The Hobbit, which I really enjoyed. It just wasn't exactly what I expected. Not that I disliked the book, but I think I had it in mind that it would be read a lot more and flow a lot more. Hi, buddy. Flow a lot more like The Hobbit, and it's just not. And so I slowed down a lot while I was reading that. But I have some books that have been on there for that long, and we're nearing 10 years of having this book on my currently reading list. I think it's safe to say I'm not currently reading it anymore. What to do? The most recently added book on the list is Atlas Shrugged. That's actually when I was outlining this video. Try as I might, I've actually added books since I started reading Atlas Shrugged. I added that on April 16 of this year. Granted, I've also read so many books in the time that some of these have been on my list. So sometimes I add a book and then I start reading it. I get a few chapters in and start something else. Or sometimes I'll even just read a couple pages and then realize I'm not in the mood for that book, and then I start reading something else. I think I mentioned in one of my monthly update videos that I don't do well pre-planning what I'm going to read. And it's really hard for me to put stuff on the list and then not be in the mood to read it and then continue reading it. It just doesn't work that way for me. So then things keep getting added to the list, and it's growing and growing and growing, and it's kind of out of control. The book that I'm most looking forward to finishing on this list is Hunted by James Allen Gardner. I read audiobooks much faster than I read physical books. So I've been reading that one in the evenings, and I've been working on the series for a while, but it's one of those series, it's out of print, it's pretty hard to find, and I don't remember if there is an audiobook for this series, or if I just didn't like the narrator, so I decided to read them all in physical copies. So it's taken me a while, but I have been making progress. This is the 4th book in the series. I actually read this series out of order. I started with the 5th book simply because I didn't know that any of the other books existed. And although it is a series, they don't have to be read in order, if that makes sense. So it's more like episodic, but they're full books. I've really enjoyed all of the science fiction from this author, so I'm excited to finish that book. The book that I'm least looking forward to finishing is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I feel like so many people talk about this book, but whenever I start one, it's an audiobook that I've been listening to this one. I don't think I could read it in physical form. It is something. I don't know. I feel like I need to finish it. I want to finish it, but I'm not looking forward to finishing it, if that makes sense. I'm looking forward to being able to say that I have finished it. It's a vanity read. I think that's what it is. I don't know. I'm going to finish it. I really feel like I'm going to finish it. The other thing that I need to do, and I already started on this, is go through and DNF the stuff that I don't plan to finish. And a friend of mine actually showed me how I could do that just by taking it off my, I can take it off my currently reading list and then DNF it, and it doesn't impact, if I go back in and just add it to the shelf separately, where it's not in my want to read or anything like that. I just go back in and DNF it, and it doesn't go on to the books that I've read for the year, because I don't want to mess it up, because I haven't read those books this year, and some of them I'm really, really not going to finish. So yeah, I feel like this is going to be a good process for me. I've got to figure out what books I really am not going to read. I will make another DNF list, because I know I did one before, but since I did that, there's been so many books added to this. So maybe I'll talk about why I'm not going to finish those books. Let me know in the comments if that's something that you would be interested in. And if there's any books that you just are like, I'm not going to read it. But I'd also be curious to hear, how do you keep your currently reading list under control? I know a lot of people only read one book at a time. And that's, honestly, I wish I could do that. But I pick up a book, I start it, and I know I'm going to read it later, but I'm just not currently in the mood. And then, the list just keeps on growing. So I have a problem. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's my currently reading cleanup project that I will keep you posted on and let you know how it goes. Wish me luck. Bye.